Peace. Welcome back to original content. It's your host, CracBaby. Today I want to talk over a few things that I read in my comments. I want to first talk about my incarceration, how I feel that being incarcerated when I was more than likely saved my life. I want to talk about Islam. A young lady asked me in my comment section, she said, why do so many black men gravitate to Islam while they're incarcerated? I think that's a good question. First and foremost, let me say this. I don't want anyone to get in their feelings. I'm not a basher. I don't bash religion. I don't bash gender. I don't bash ethnicity. I don't do that. I give you the facts as I understand them, and I leave it there. Okay? Let me give you some backdrop. I was incarcerated 5 times as a juvenile. The last time I went to the penitentiary. Each time I was incarcerated, I picked up my Bible. This is the truth. Not that I was religious. I didn't have any fear of anyone but the judge. But I had this understanding ever since I was a child that I could B.S God. So when I was out there trapping, as they call it today, in my day we call it hustling, balling. At night I would say my prayers, the Lord's Prayer. And I would add to the Lord's Prayer, God, if you allow me to get rid of the rest of what I have, I promise I'm a changed man. I'm not selling no more crack. And as soon as I sold the last of what I had, I put in my call to re-up. It was the same when I was incarcerated. I felt like, in the way the religion is basically set up, a lot of people feel this way. You know that thing that it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you ask God's forgiveness before you die, you will be saved. That part, yeah. A lot of people play with that. And I played with it. So when I was incarcerated, I pick up my Bible and I become devout. You know, I'm praying, I'm going to Bible study, I'm going to church services. But really, subconsciously, I'm trying to B.S God. I think I can B.S God into allowing me to go home. So on the last time I was incarcerated, that resulted in my going to the penitentiary, I was sent to this. I was given this program on a trial basis. It was the O.G.B.O program, first time offenders. Now, I qualified when my charges was just malicious wounding use of a firearm. This is before other charges popped up. So anyway, I go to the O.G.B.O program. It was in St. Briars, Chesapeake, Virginia. and I'm studious. You know, I'm going to Bible study, and I'm trying to get this program. With this program, I could come home maybe in 18 months. So I'm praying, I'm going to Bible study, I'm reading the Bible every night before bed, and I'm studying with this brother named Wyatt. He's a good brother in heart, you know, at heart. And long story short, I get into an altercation. I'm double banked, right? Now I'm gonna tell a story about that too. So after I'm double banked, coming back from commissary, I go to my dorm and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking myself over, you know, making sure, you know, I wasn't bruised up or anything like that. And the brother who I go to Bible study with, church services with, he's almost like my mentor, Brother Wyatt. He comes in the dorm. Now, mind you, he was walking with me when I was double banked. He comes in the dorm. He said, "Brother, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, brother, I'm all right." And I proceeded to ask him, I said, "Brother, you know, you say you my brother, you my Christian brother, you love me. Why didn't you help me?" Brother looked at me and said, "Well, you know, brother, I'm a Christian. We turn the other cheek. I divorced that religion right then and right there. I wanted nothing else to do with that." The thought that in order to have a relationship with God, I have to allow someone to do something to me and I can't defend myself. So I left that alone right then and there. And I think, to answer sister's question, the reason so many black men accept Islam incarcerated, while they're incarcerated, the reason why when they're incarcerated is usually when we on the street, we don't have time to engage religion. We don't have time to study something that's different than what we have, you know, been a part of all of our life. And most of us were raised in Christian households. We may not have been the best followers. We may not have attended church every Sunday. But if you surveyed the average black person in America and you asked them what's your religion, they would tell you Christian, you know. But when you're incarcerated, you're on time out. And when you have your mind geared to doing something different than what you've been doing, you know, you start looking for things. And I found Islam. A brother by the name of Mo, you know, he came to the YO program a few weeks after me. And immediately I noticed that Mo was different from the rest of us. He had almost like a glow about him. And it really stood out, you know. Whereas most of us walked, we was clicked up. You know, we had our homeboys or whatever with us. Mo walked alone. But you can tell from his energy, his aura, that, you know, it's best to leave him be. He had a strength about him that was coupled with a humbleness, you know. So one day I sat across from Brother Mo. We happened to be in the same wing. And I said, "Brother, can I ask you a question?" He said, "Go ahead." And the first thing that I could think to ask Brother was, "Why do y'all hate white people?" He was a 5%er, by the way. Just think about that. That's the first question. Not where do you get your glow from, this strength, this your aura, where you get that from. The first thing I could think to ask my brother was, why do you hate white people? You know why? Because we are orientated. We think more about them than we think about ourselves. This is why when two black men or two black women have an argument, we go and get a white person. If a white person is available, whatever the white person say is stamped. Okay, I told you. See, he's saying the same thing I'm saying. We just have a mindset, and all this started in slavery. We are natural defenders. Well, it's not natural, but second nature. We are lawyers for white people. We'll call each other nigger, bitch, hoe every day, all day. But you say something about white people, or you attempt to have a conversation on what happened to our people, how we got in this condition, you'll be charged by your own people with teaching hate, when all you're doing is teaching the truth. But I asked brother, why do you hate white people? And he kind of grinned, and he went, I think brother gave me maybe a minute and a half. He said, now here's a man who come and take you from freedom, take you from your people, take you from your land, make you a slave, castrate you, set you on fire, sick dogs on you, turn water hoses on you. I mean, he went on like this for about a minute and a half. And then, finally he turned and looked at me and said, now what has he done to make you love him? Oh, my mind was blown. You hear me? I've always had an ear for truth. If you're saying something that makes sense to me, I don't care who you are, I don't care your color, I don't care your gender. If you're saying something that makes truth to me, you got my attention. And I asked for the information that he had right there. He didn't have to pull me or spend hours convincing me. I know what he was saying was truth. I felt it in my soul. That brother had a role in saving my life with that information. And to answer sister's question, that is what most black men get when they pick up Islam. They get something that's rooted in truth. You understand? It's something that can be proven. You don't just have to have faith. It's mathematical. You can prove it mathematically. You can prove it historically. You can prove it with science. It makes sense. And that is what makes Islam so attractive to black people. We've been lied to so long. But when we are blessed to be in the company of a man or woman who can articulate themselves and articulate the truth or articulate that message to us, we know it's the truth when we hear it. And we accept it. And we use it as the tool to reshaping our lives by first reshaping our minds. So, sister, I hope I answered your question. That's what attracted me to Islam. I heard something that I never heard before. and it made sense to me. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, I get comments of support. I get some criticism too. I want to say this. If I have offended anyone who's homosexual, it was not my intention. It was not my intention to offend you. Most of my videos are by request. I'm only speaking to or speaking truth to of topics that I have understanding of. But I'm not at all trying to offend anyone. I said it before, I say it again. It's going to take all of us, the light, the darker, the religious, the non-religious, the gay, the straight, the Democrat, the what's the other one? Republican. It's going to take all of us to get right. So I leave you as I came before you. Peace. Remember to subscribe, share, comment, like, dislike. You're free to Cash App a donation. Cash App, $RENARDO, Renardo Rashid, RASHID. And I see you on the next one.